Now we're going to work some examples and use this chart to help guide us. So there are really important keywords that you want to pick out from these word problems. So sum, interior, exterior, and regular. Sum, interior, exterior, regular. So the first one, what is the sum of the interior angles in a regular hexagon? So we have the word sum, we have the word interior, we have the word regular. So we are trying to find the sum of the interior angles. So this formula, 180 times n minus 2, it doesn't actually matter whether or not it's regular or irregular, but I'm just going to do 180 times the number of sides, which is 6, minus 2, which 180 times 4 is 720. That's the total. That's the total number of degrees, the total of all the angles in a regular hexagon. Then part B says, what is the measure of each? Each means one, each individual interior angle. Okay, so we know it's regular, so actually like the part about it being regular really doesn't matter until part B. So remember, to find the measure of one angle in a regular polygon, you take the total, 180 times n minus 2, and divide it by the number of sides, the number of angles. So we know our total is 720. And we're just going to divide it amongst the 6 angles. We're taking the total 720 degrees, dividing it evenly because it's regular amongst each individual angle, and each of those angles is going to be 120 degrees. Okay, number 2. One interior angle of a regular nonagon is 7x plus 14. Keyword, interior, regular, and then 1 is also helpful. One angle, one interior angle in a regular polygon can be found using this formula. So if it's a nonagon, n is 9 sides. So each interior angle of this regular nonagon is going to be 180 times 9 minus 2 over 9. One interior angle of a regular nonagon can be found using this formula. And so 180 times 7, divide that by 9, and each angle is 140 degrees. So I can set this expression, 7x plus 14, equal to 140. Each of those angles is 7x plus 14, so I'm going to subtract 14. So that's 140 minus 14, which is 126. And then I divide that by 7, and x is 18. Okay, number 3. A regular, keyword, polygon has exterior angles that measure 10 degrees. How many sides does it have? So regular and exterior. And this, another helpful word would be like that each measure 10 degrees. So that's one. This is talking about like one individual exterior angle. So exterior, regular, we're going to do 360 divided by n. Well, this problem is different because instead of me telling you how many sides this polygon has and you're just going and you plugging it in as n, we're actually trying to solve for n. So n is our unknown. We do not know what n is, but we do know that each of these exterior angles for this regular polygon, each of those angles is 10 degrees. So I can set this equation equal to 10. So I have n in my denominator, and so I'm going to multiply both sides by n in order to get it out of my denominator. And so now I have 360 is equal to 10n, and then I'm going to divide by 10. And 360 divided by n is 36. So this polygon has 36 sides. That's a pretty big sided polygon. That's a lot of sides. Okay, number 4. Find the value of x. So there are no words. So it's like, cool. You told me to use keywords, and all I have is this dumb picture. So we want to think, are these interior angles or are they exterior angles? They are interior angles. Then we want to think, is this polygon regular? And I notice one of its angles is 97 degrees. One of its angles is 130 degrees. Those are not the same thing. These are all different. This is not a regular polygon. This is not regular. So the only equation that I have is the sum, the total. So if I'm going to add up all of the angles in this polygon, I'm going to use this formula to figure out what that total is. So this polygon has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sides. So it's a pentagon. It's not a regular pentagon, so it looks kind of weird, but the total is 540. So that's sum, total. Sum means I add them all up. So I'm going to add up x plus 130 plus 54 plus 130 plus 97. 130 plus 54 plus 130 plus 97. I'm adding up the angles. That's called finding the sum. So the sum of all those angles is x plus 411, 411, and that should be equal to 540 degrees. We know that the total, the sum of all the interior angles of this polygon is 540. So I'm just going to subtract 411. And that missing angle is 129 degrees. So you can double check. 129 plus 130 plus 54 plus 130 plus 97 all adds up to 540. And then finally, number 5, the sum of the interior angles, the sum of the interior angles in a regular polygon is 2,340. How many sides does it have? So it doesn't actually matter whether or not it's regular because we know the sum. So I know the sum is 2,340. I do not know the number of sides. That's what I'm trying to solve for. I don't know n, but I do know that this should be equal to 180 times n minus 2. Okay, so I have two strategies. I can either distribute the 180 and then solve for n, or I'm just going to divide off the 180. I'm just going to get rid of it. Bye. So I'm left with just n minus 2. 2,340 divided by 180 is 13. And so then I'm just going to solve for it. I'm just going to add 2. N is 5. So this is a 5. Not n is 5. N is 15. 13 plus 2 is 15. N is 15. This is a 15-sided polygon. So it actually doesn't matter that we told you it was regular. That's kind of like distracting information because we're talking about the sum, and the sum formula is 180 times n minus 2.